Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnaz.
And today, for another anime video review, we're going over SSSS Gridman.
And Season 3 of Sword Art Online.
So we're going to start with the better anime. So
Sword Art Online.
You go first.
Alright, so first episode is 1 hour long. I don't understand why.
Okay, we're going to start talking about Gridman.
Because I kind of get it, but I felt like they just put in 2 episodes into one. Because you see where the cutoff point is, where first episode should have ended. But I do appreciate what they try to do with this. But I am not feeling this season right off the beginning. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, you already had to spend an hour at Kirito.
Well, that's just it. They changed the art style on the anime slightly, but just enough for me to notice it, where you can tell it was done by a different company.
Is it sort of? It's sort of like what they did with High School DxD.
Not that dramatically, but it's just enough. Like the character eyes are different, and that's how the anime starts off. But then, 30 minutes into the anime, there's some stupid. Trying to compose myself over here. Woosah. Okay, first 28 minutes of this anime was a waste of my life. Okay, I did not need to see that. Cut that crap out, okay? You people are pissing me off. Literally, the first 28 minutes you're watching this anime.
So what you're saying is you could literally like cut halfway in, you just get the last 30 minutes. You have your normal anime length.
Yeah. Like, to explain this, first 28 minutes of this anime, Steve, is you're watching Kirito, Alicia, and the other guy. And it's just literally their happy-go-life. He's cutting trees. She's bringing them food. Yes, literally. And you don't even know what the hell is going on. You're like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Why are they cutting the street? There's no explanation whatsoever in any way, shape, or
Maybe
form.
It's Christmas.
But, and it explains a little bit. It has to do something with their, like, family thing. But you don't know what's going on. But 30 minutes of this trash, and then you finally get to find out he wakes up and he was just dreaming. And it was like
Those are the best too, where it's just like...
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, really? But you find out that he's testing out on his job the new virtual reality thing, where it digs into your soul, so it's a different kind of link, where like the VR link is through your brain, where it links and makes you feel like you're inside of the game. Well, this is a completely different experience where it does the link with your soul. And that's where this anime is going, people.
So, it's Sword Art Soul?
And that's how you find out, because after this, when he gets out of the virtual reality, the art style goes back to the old style. You can notice the slight difference in the art style.
Well, that sounds kind of cool. Because it kind of gives you like a little bit of a distinguish between reality and video game.
Which, it is the cool part. But don't forget, you spend first 30 minutes in this world where you have no idea what's going on. The art style is slightly different. The storyline is the most stupidest thing ever. They're just eating lunch and walking through these tunnels.
But I love lunch.
Oh. Anyways, after all this crap, it goes back to normal Sword Art Online. So, it actually kicks in. It's semi-interesting. It's got my favorite character, Sinon, in it. Shinon, whatever. Sinon. We'll call her that.
She's the only character I don't even, like, know that. Like, I know enough from watching, like, parts of it with you. But character, like, design-wise, I love that character.
And she's a good character. She's my favorite of them all.
Even though she was, like, wah, half the season I watched. But, like, she was fine.
I was fine with the whole thing, because like now it goes back to the whole Gun Gale thing, and they're playing the Gun Gale game online. The storyline continues. They're doing some kind of tournament.
So wait, is he a chick again?
Yes, he's a chick again. And he's using a sword again. And Asuna's in there, and she's using a sword again in a gun game, which is like...
I don't know, tack knives and Call of Duty are pretty OP.
That is true.
It's
And
not commando.
it gets into some more details about what's going on, but the greatest thing comes at the end of this anime. Kirito dies.
I'm super excited. I feel like I need to watch this now.
He doesn't die, but he leaves you at a cliffhanger where he gets poisoned in the real life because it goes back to the actual Sword Art Online game where one of the Laughing Coffin members actually meets him in the public on a street and stabs him with a poison and poisons him, and that's where the episode ends because Asuna's screaming his name because he's dead. Or make it look like he's dead, but I'm sure they will bring him back.
Kirito!
And as he got stabbed, I was like, yes! Yes!
Asuna's our new favorite male lead character.
But there's some like story development in there where he wants to go to America because they have better virtual reality technology, and he wants to go there. And then it goes through all these motion things where he's like, I don't want to leave you behind. And he's like, would you come with me? And she's like, oh, my darling. She's like, I love you so much. I'll go with you anywhere. And the guy comes out of nowhere and he just stabs him with the poison. Well, there's like a little conflict thing where he stabs him with umbrella.
You need to go full Goblin Slayer.
Yeah. And that's where the episode ends. And I feel like it was my complete waste of my time. I could have watched the SSS one that Steve told me to.
Yeah, I was like, hey, should you watch this and Goblin Slayer? Because, like, this, you like Kill la Kill, you like Darling Fox, you'll probably like, you'll at least, like, style-wise, you won't mind Gridman.
Yeah. I feel like the first 28 minutes were unnecessary, okay? You could have showed us just the little clips and hints of what the other virtual reality looked like. That's the soul-connected one. And it would have been fine. I did not need 30 minutes of that bull crap. So even though they made the episode hour long, it was waste.
It didn't really need to be an hour. Could have been trimmed.
Could have been just 30 minutes. I would have been happy. I would have enjoyed it. But overall, just skip that crap. You really do not need to watch the first 28 minutes, however long that part is. You could literally tell like where the first episode ends is where he wakes up from the virtual reality and then he cries. Oh, and then another thing is...
I would too.
Another thing is he can't remember anything from the virtual reality, the soul-connected one, because, and then going through this whole rant of explaining it, and I was just like, don't care, I don't care, but he can't remember anything, because they block his memories.
That kind of ties into mine, because my main character wakes up, now I don't know the names of anybody yet, because it's literally just watched it and pretty much, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
But my main character wakes up in front of a girl's house, doesn't remember a thing.
Oh boy.
Absolutely nothing. Doesn't know who this girl is, why he's here. Also doesn't understand because so far it's pretty much we have main boy, main girl, best friend. Pretty much, and then we have the girl that everybody likes, who I'm assuming is probably the bad guy. Or a bad person at some point.
There's always one of those.
But... or she might like tie in, because I think there's like 4 vehicles total plus Gridman. So somebody's got to drive those things. But, wakes up in front of her house, gets taken in, and they own like a junk / like coffee shop. So it sells like antiques and stuff. And there's a giant like old fashioned computer, which is very similar to the one from the original Gridman TV series.
Oh, sweet.
Or even, like Superhuman Samurai like had a whole computer tie-in thing too. And he can see that somebody's talking to him from the computer. Nobody else can though.
He's hallucinating, or is that a real thing?
It's kind of like he can see it because
so it's real.
For some reason, he's linked. And Gridman's like, hey, my name's Gridman. You have to find your purpose. He's like, what the hell is that supposed to be? So they find out where he lives. They drop him off. And during this process, that he sees there's a giant monster in the background. Nobody else can see it, though. So, goes about with their normal lives. Goes to school the next day. This is where you meet up with his friend. And you meet the other girl, and there's like a little confrontation. Well, not confrontation, but she gives him like her lunch as he's trying to figure out things. And you see there's like a little connection, like he's like slightly interested.
Yeah.
But there's a girl like playing volleyball in the room, smacks the sandwich out of his hand, and everybody just like clams up. Like stuff's about to go down.
It's going down, son.
Sadly, nothing happens.
What? All the build up for
Yeah,
nothing.
all the build up.
So it was just Sword Art Online again, huh? Except they did their build up in 30 seconds instead of 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, it was about there. So they go back to her place because he wants to find out more about the machine. So he goes there. The Gridman's still talking to him, right?
This whole time, or
well, not the whole time, but when he goes into the coffee shop,
okay.
Gridman's like, "Hey, you need to figure out what you're doing." And during this process, his arm like electrifies, and a monster shows up. So that's kind of like the warning, like, "Hey, something's happening." So an actual kaiju shows up. Everybody's like freaking out, like, "Oh man, what the hell?" Monsters like rampaging the streets, and what's super sweet and super sucky all at the same time is I love the destruction they're showing. They had like cars and like sides of buildings and stuff, and it looked really cool. Problem is the monster and Gridman are all CG.
all right. So here's my question: is it as bad as the Sword Art, not Sword Art Online, the Phantasy Star Online game that we watched?
No, it's fairly decent CG.
Okay, so it's not.
It's not Berserk CG.
It's not like
Berserk a lot for these videos.
It's not like Netflix original CG kind of thing.
No, like it's watching it. I'm like, okay, it's CG, but it doesn't really take you out of the experience.
Okay.
Granted, I love Studio Trigger's like art style, so it would have been sweet to see this like fully animated, which they do show some. But anyways, monster shows up. Kid ends up going inside the computer to link with Gridman. Comes out as Gridman. And his friends can actually see that part. Like they see him inside of the computer and like him linking up with Gridman, and they pop up, and then typical Ultraman. We need the story, especially with the first episode, is the reason how the kid became like Ultraman.
Oh, so explains it all and everything?
Yeah, so this is the first episode is pretty much your typical first episode of any Ultraman series.
Is it at least entertaining, or is it boring like mine?
I didn't mind it. The problem is it's very vague. Like, why was he chosen? Why doesn't he remember things? Who's this bad guy? Because there's this guy like sculpting the monster, and then the monster shows up. But you don't see the guy. You see it like the villain a little bit. He's kind of confused too on why Gridman's there.
Well, at least like
and also how the kid knows how to fight.
It leaves it to your imagination, I guess, in certain way, shape, or form.
Well, I imagine they'll build it up more. It's kind of like Darling in the Bronx, where it's like you accept what's going on, but you're not quite sure what's really going on.
Yeah.
But the fight was pretty sweet, pretty basic stuff, just punching, kicking, but looked really solid. You find out the monster has a weakness.
Was there any special abilities he used yet, or?
He uses his Gridman beam.
Okay.
Grid beam. So he does that, which is pretty much like if you've seen Gridman or Superhuman Samurai, does the same moves.
Well, I'm waiting, like, since this is the new ones, I'm hoping they'll actually have, like, different abilities that he uses. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, he has a different look to him, and there's also more vehicles, at least from what I've seen, that he can form with, like for armor pieces.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm hoping there's different abilities, so it's not always the same stuff to a certain extent.
Yeah, it's like I want some of the same, but some new.
Yeah.
And the one thing that's interesting towards the end of the episode is the monster destroys part of the school, and clearly, like, this one girl bites the dust. Because shooting fireballs and one of them hits the school.
Ouch.
But the next day when they arrive, school's perfectly fine. And that's where the episode ends.
Oh. Huh.
So, for me, I'm interested. Granted, it's kind of confusing for a first episode, especially if you never really have seen Gridman or Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. But if you ever really checked out an Ultraman show, you pretty much know what you're getting into. My favorite thing is there's some guy in a Godzilla Facebook group that was very confused on why this was ripping off Ultraman. It was the worst thing ever. I was like, God, I hope he's trolling. I hope that he was trolling.
Oh my God.
Wait, whoa. Really? He's like, man, after Darling and Frogs, this thing's like a steam pile. Like, upset that the mecha anime is similar to other mecha animes, and then you're upset that the Ultraman anime is an Ultraman anime. I don't know.
He had to be trolling. There's no way he's part of the group and not
part
know.
Of the group and then you not know.
I think I saw that.
It made me laugh. I was gonna respond, but I was just like, don't want to feel the fire. Just let him have his comment. It's okay. Moving on with my life. So I thought it was cool.
Overall, what did you think of your anime?
I enjoyed it. Like, especially being a tokusatsu fan, it definitely harkens back to a lot of stuff for me growing up. Art style's really nice. Like I said, the CG's the only thing that kind of threw me off a little bit, but it's done well enough that I don't care. And the way the story's setting up right now, it makes me interested in seeing where it's going to go.
Overall, for mine, I enjoyed it to a certain extent. I wish the first 20-30 minutes was not there. I felt like that was just waste of everyone's time. I didn't need all that time explaining. I do appreciate that there's slight difference in the drawing style between when he goes into like that certain virtual world and then in a normal one. It's subtle difference, but you can tell, you know?
Yeah. Well, to me, it sounds like if it would have been split up into 2 30-minute episodes, it probably would have been more effective. Because that first episode, granted, it would have been the part that felt like a waste, but if it ended with him like waking up and crying, that's the end of the first episode.
And that's where it should have ended. And that's what I said.
That would actually be kind of cool. Because then you're like, wait, whoa, what happened? And then gotta wait till next week.
But no, it won't continue on. And so I'm semi-okay with it. I'm still going to watch the SSS one for sure. That's definitely be tonight while I'm working. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I like the art style a lot. It makes me excited. Like, but so I look at something, I'm like, man, I need a figure like for like Goblin Slayer. I'm like, I saw him. I'm like, I want his toy.
I want her toy.
I know I need to watch the. I know I'm into the anime.
I need the toy of a girl and the goblin where his hands are just.
No, I don't. No, cool without that one.
I can honestly see people making that as a figure.
Yeah, I'm already like. Well, Tumblr's a horrible place, but if you ever go on there, there's already GIFs. Or GIFs, whatever you want to call them.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to fire out my Tumblr now.
Why? But anyways, if you guys checked out Sword Art Online or SSS Gridman, let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought of it. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, and come range today. See you guys in the next video.
Bye-bye.